Hey, this is Dennis, and I wanted to give you an overview of Acumatica's layout, the navigation, and such. Now, what you see on the screen is one of the dashboards that Acumatica provides, and we'll talk about that in another video. This is going to be more about the navigation without the dashboard. And so, Acumatica uses role-based security, and so as you can see, I have a good number of options available on my workspace and then more options under the menu. And that's because I'm logged in as administrator. Hey, but if I go to another browser here, I'm going to log in as one of our warehouse workers. And you can see that their layout is much different. They don't have near the opportunity to use modules that the administrator has, and that's because their role restricts their access. So as we go through this, I want to keep in mind that we're going to show you some user maintainable features in the product. And so the first part is what shows up over on the left navigation panel. And that is done based on what the user would like to have. And if they want to add or remove a workspace, then for instance, in the bill of materials, they can just simply unpin it and it disappears. If they want to add contract management, they can click the pin and it appears on the left. So they can control, the users can control what's available to them on this navigation pane, but they can also go to anything that's not included under this more items. And then another option that they have is if you want more real estate on the screen is to go ahead and compress that so that it really moves more to the icon and description. So as we get into a workspace, the user has the ability to create their own workspace and manage what shows up on what we call a quick menu, because these are the things that they're going to want to use on a regular basis. And if you see here at the bottom, we have something that says show all. And so this lists all of the menu options in the sales order workspace. And if you click show less, this is a quick menu the user can define. And to show you how that's done, if you'll notice, somebody has a real affinity for pick lists. And as you're looking at this, you decide, I don't need to see that many pick lists. Simply go up to the setting to change the quick menu and uncheck the boxes for all of those extra pick tickets and then exit. And you'll see now it says show all, so we're in our quick menu. Those extra pick tickets have been removed. We also know that there are things that people will work across multiple workspaces. And in order to make that more efficient, you'll notice that the sales order has a star beside it. And once that star is added, it shows up on the sales order section of the favorites menu. And so if someone wants to add something to the favorites menu, it's simply going to their workspace, finding the menu option that they want, clicking the star next to it. So now we have customers, and you go back to the favorites menu. Now customers shows up under the receivables section. So there's a lot of flexibility for the user to set up their system and the way that they interact with the system and make it very personal for them. Another thing that Acumatica does is really take advantage of the features of the browser to emulate functionality inside of a window. So, raise your hand if you're one of those people that has 40 icons on their taskbar on the bottom of their desktop. And so with the cloud-based system, now your browser becomes that same desktop, so you can right-click, open in a new tab, and you'll notice now your browser tabs become all of those 40 icons that you have for your ERP system on the bottom of your desktop. So making it easier to then switch back and forth between screens simply by tapping on the new tab. And when you're in Windows and you've closed a tab and you realize, gosh, you didn't want to do that, Acumatica provides a list of the last screens that you have opened. And so you can go back through and look at these screens and open them from this historical recently viewed list. Okay. And one more way that Acumatica helps you to work with the data and find data and navigate the system is what we call the universal search. And so in that, I'm going to go ahead and use a very common term called invoice. And you'll notice it brings up several options. The first section are called menu items, where it's looking for the string invoice in any of the menu options across all of the workspaces. And then you can launch it from here. The next thing that it's going to do is look for any transactions or profiles. So the transactions would be the AR invoices, the AP bills, sales orders, and such. And you can see here that it's looking at also master records. So here are dashboard widgets, generic inquiries, which we'll talk about in another video. Here's an SO invoice, so invoicing a sales order. So it's helping you find those documents based on terms that you enter. It also searches the help topics. And not only does it look in the title of the help topic, but it also finds that text in the article itself. So it's a full text search across the data in the system, also the help files, and finally it also looks in the files that you store using the Acumatica document management system. And so here it finds the term invoice in the title of the file, that file name, so that if you have a number, an invoice number or a vendor, then you may be able to use this in order to find that data. So that's a quick overview of how you get around the system. And we'll talk about some screen navigation and conducting some transactions in another video as well. Thanks for joining me.